Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Week 3, day 1. We are slowly closing out the regular split of spring, and I am here to break things down. Without further ado, we're going to do, of course, the predictions at the end, and we're going to break down some of the games and see what we can take a look at. GX versus Rogue. GX versus Rogue. It is exactly what you would expect it to be. Exactly what you would expect it to be. GX start the game with a Senna, Orianna, Poppy ban. Orianna, something that gets banned a lot in Europe. Just strong laner, but I think definitely it has power dips. And I think that some of the other champs like Talia, Nico, Ahri, these champions have an easier time participating with every beat of the game. But if you need like a carry in the mid lane, Orianna is the staple go-to, especially with Azir being out of the picture, of course. So, Orianna gets banned, Rogue banned Kalista, Smolder, Varus, and Senna's already out, so the AD pool is already limited here. Vi becomes Prio, because you're either playing Zeri, or you're playing something like Rakan, but here Rogue go for Ahri and Zeri. And in this spot, you know, it's like Vi is very strong because you know that Talia or Ahri will be available to you, because the day someone rotates Ahri, Talia, I will dress up as a cow and I will moo and I'll have a cowbell. All right, it's a promise when people rotate Ahri, Talia together. So just make a note of that. Talia, Rakan gets locked in, and then Javan on 3. Rakan just a scaling champ. Vi and Rakan. You know, people made fun of me when we fucking picked Vi Rakan last split, but Vi Rakan is such a staple combo, it makes your composition complete already, because you have all the tools that you need, your scaling is insane, and you always have tools to shut people down. But the early levels, from level 1 to 6, can be difficult, and you need to have champions that can bridge you to that point. But nevertheless, Talia gets locked in, solid lock-in. We like Talia Vi on this channel, all that good stuff. Javan gets locked in. Javan is only good against Talia here, but even then, I think this Javan craze that we have in Europe is completely fucking lost to me. When we had Javan craze before, when it was at its peak with the gold drink and so forth, Javan win ratio was like 55, 56%. Right now, the Q change, I don't think it's big enough. I don't think the items are good enough. I think that we have some Javan delusion here in Europe. Rogue choose to ban Kai'Sa and then Rumble. Rumble, of course, Odamne special. Renata Glask is banned, and then Aatrox. In this spot, I thought that when they ban Aatrox and Rumble, that they're gonna look for K'Sante, but instead they go for the Gragas and Nyla. I was very confused by the Nyla here. Like they are just picking an AD that I guess can do well into Javan, but I guess also it can combo with Rakan and Vi. It seemed like the lane matchup was fairly easy, and Rogue here picked Lulu on 4. Big criticism towards Rogue, of course, is that they are a fairly inactive team. They don't pressure enough, they're not active enough, and the truth is the game was the same here. GX pretty much set up for dragons, play around the rule timers. There were many moments where I felt like GX could go and, you know, pull the trigger, but this definitely looked like a game between two teams that are very afraid of closing out their season at this point in time, very understanding of the importance of this particular match, and finally also two teams that are just at the bottom of the standings. I will show you all of the things that are interesting in the game. So, and that's it. Let's move on to the second game, BDS versus Fnatic. BDS versus Fnatic, it was kind of a banger. BDS, in this particular game, you know, I feel you're trying to like make sense of what the teams are trying to do, right? We've said many times on this channel, Adam against Rainchab looks tough. Zeri, they're trying to play more, of course, of the carry champs on Ice, which I think is working. I think Ice has been playing solid, you know. The ADs that have stood out to me the most, of course, Hansama with the Draven, but that is like easy peasy for the brother. I think that, you know, the ADs that stood out to me the most is Ice, and I think also Kazi. I think they've performed rather decent, and they are in the upper end of AD carries. Even in the losses that BDS had, I think there was other reasons why they lost. But this is a very vintage BDS composition. They have the Orianna for Nuke, it's a Nuke special, and then the Xin Zhao Zeri, you know, Shio usually wants to play the Rel, Maokai, Xin Zhao, and then just a Renekton blind here for Adam, which makes a lot of sense. So Orianna gets locked in, enemy goes Karma Vi. I think that even though Karma is a strong champion, I do think that Vi Ari is just a better pairing. I don't think that Vi Karma have any synergies that make me excited about such a rotation. Enemy team goes Xin Zhao and Zeri. Zeri the carry. You know, in this type of spot, you can consider just slamming Zyrakan 2-3 and then play it by ear. You can. The reason I say so is because you are good into Vi, you have the Orianna, but additionally, the enemy can only pick one part of their bot lane on 3. So if they pick Nautilus, you can, for example, ban Aphelios, maybe Jinx, or like ban ADs that are good against you, like Zeri, and you have options. But Zeri blind drop support perfectly fine, especially if you're in a case where you want to prioritize your jungle pick, which is perfectly fine. You can pick Rel here, you can pick Xin Zhao here. Nevertheless, all is cool. Nautilus gets locked in on 3. Nautilus is just a support that has a lot of pairings. They ban it, they pick it, and they know they can pick Kai'Sa. They can even, like, they can pick Jinx as they did here. There's many ADs that you can pair together with Nautilus. They ban Olaf, Braum, Twisted Fate, Kai'Sa. I didn't like too much the Olaf ban. I understand why they did it, right? To just remove things that they don't have a lot of experience playing against and invite something that they have experience against. Rel and Renekton gets locked in 4-5 here, and the Rumble on 5, I think, while it's a good lane matchup, I think that the cohesion of the composition here is not strong enough in my mind. You're trying to accomplish too many things at once and you're trying to get too much premium out of the situation. I think here you should look to just slam a tank. I think that picking the Ornn would have been the better option here, because I think you just want to, like, if you already have a commitment to the Jinx, I think that you should do everything you can to really set it up for success. So I think the comp cohesion here is much better for BDS. They have better tools, and I think that their scaling is very solid. But I don't think it's like that one-sided that draft decides everything. So let's take a look at the game. I need to remind myself a little bit what happened in this game. I think BDS showed some usual setups in terms of course, how they set up the Drake. But the big thing that happened in this game was that this was probably Razork's weakest game. He did say on Twitter that he doesn't feel so good and he's sick, which is something that can happen. You know, you're committing to 5 players, feeling sick, feeling ill is something that you go through. Like, you have to deal with that in most cases in esports and pro teams, right? So let me see if the quality can get better. No. So basically, Razork wants to leverage his Rumble prio to basically commit. I think here in this spot, what he could have done, Oscarinin, is just to look to cross. I think if he begins to fight the guy, I guess he doesn't want to run into Shio here, maybe, if they are trapping him. It does kind of make sense. Razork wants to invade together with the Rumble. But you see here, they are not in sync. The Rumble stacked such a big wave that I think that the Rumble could have crossed here. Maybe you would have to like burn Flash to make the situation better, but at least they are connected and on the same page about what they want to accomplish. Here, when Razork goes in and puts the ward, Shio has full information. And he kites, and now he kites downwards because he knows that Vi is going into the bush. He W's, and then he gets a smite, and he runs away. Razork now with smite advantage, Shio begins to kite back because he knows Rumble's coming. This is not that big of a deal. Shio used smite for 1, and he gets 1, and Vi spends a lot of time to get the blue. It's not that big of a deal. I like here from Shio that he doesn't give up the situation because he knows that Vi is weaker than him. And Vi now queues onto the crab, and Razork assumes that he has exited and gone into bot side. You see it even on the pink that he plants. But here in this spot, Shio, you know, Razork has no Q. He gets bonked, and then he flashes over with him. And then here, Razork tries to get away. He's trying to Q. He gets it, and then Shio plays it beautifully. Fully conquer stacked. Boom. Ride the lightning, baby. Takes my spear. Very well played by Shio. Good punish. Razork assumed he went on the bottom side, but he didn't have information that can confirm it. Shio did a good job here because it also, of course, helps top side. Top side in a rough spot. This is the matchup, right? Very difficult. Adam looking to stack rage into W, and they're trying to gank Oscarinin, who's playing with Ignite. This is also very comfortable for, of course, Renekton. Here I was worried about the base that Renekton had. I think null magic mantle, refillable, probably would have been better. I think that you want to play it safe. He's walking back to lane. It doesn't burn TP. I think making sure that you have refillable and null magic, I think would have been better. Eventually, they walk back top. They get a kill on Mr. Adam. Shiu takes the crab, Razuk spots him, and eventually the gank lands here. So Skarinin, low HP, traded into Renek with R. Actually wasn't a gank, it was just a hold and a 1-for-1. So here, still, 1-for-1 is very solid considering Adam has TP and he crashed the wave, right? Very solid. But I think just the mistake Adam does is he invests in very poor lane items. Very, very poor lane items. Humanoid no flash from before. Sheo completely running the game. Completely running the game. Vi is very weak early. To be at a disadvantage like that is very rough. When you have solo laners like Rumble and Karma that want to play the lanes very actively. They need to play forward. They need to play very aggressive. This is the mistake in my mind. Here you have Tiamat, Longsword. These are not powerful stats in terms of fighting. I think Rumble is a champion. The reason people are playing Ignite with him, or the same reason you play 2 combat summoners with, of course, Olaf or with Darius. If you can't fight on your wave and push and base, you are useless. So itemizing fully to win the matchup is a completely viable idea, you know? And I think it's something that you should insist on. Tiamat doesn't give you enough stats to justify. She was invading here without his homies. Nautilus is matching, which is good, of course. And Vi is level 6. Sheo doesn't have a significant advantage here. Vi ult, Jinx ult doesn't land, so Sheo gets away with murder here. But it's a solid play here for, of course, Fnatic to defend these camps. Well done by June. We continue. This is the moment. I think, I don't know if it was a question of not knowing the exact timer for, of course, the flash. But I think also you can see how much of a difference it would have made if he actually like committed to lane items, you know? Imagine I had a Hex Drinker here, the MR would have been massive, everything, like the shield would have been big. There was, you know, potential for items to really make a difference here. I understand he wants to get Strikebreaker as soon as possible, but I think in such a matchup to squeeze a Hex Drinker, maybe even Mercs, can be very solid. We continue. Jinx ult doesn't land, and Fnatic secure the 4th grub. Let's fast forward a little bit. I think that even though this dive works, I think a trend of this game is that Fnatic spend a little bit too much time trying to break Renekton. I think here you want to hold the Rumble ult until Vi CCs, because it's very fortunate here that the Q of Vi pushes him into the Rumble ult, because they need, of course, this damage to kill a very chunky Renekton. Razor tries to peace out, but all things considered, I think just this Karma TP is just pretty bad, you know? In a world where Karma pushes mid here, the investment Nuke has to do is just a lot larger in order for him to make this happen, because now you have a situation where there's trade into bottom, Jinx can't cross, Nautilus can't cross, and Karma TP. Imagine a situation where Karma pushed mid, kept TP, then she can TP into bot to save this play too, because the TP top doesn't do anything. Here Jinx gets denied, even though she has item base, and you know, it's just the price of it all, you know. Eventually, with their vision and the walls that they place, they can enter in, and that's it. We fast forward. Here I like this macro from BDS here. I think this is very good. With the vision they have topside, they see already the Fnatic doesn't want to contest the Drake. So they're not committing a lot of people into bottom side. They're letting Nuke play in isolation. This is very high-end macro. They are playing for Drake, but they also don't want to give up their top side, because currently they are very strong. Zinza is very strong, Nuke has TP. They are looking, you know, as the team that wants to contest actively and fight. Here, Vi is spotted on vision, so Zinza holds the base, doesn't do Drake, and they open into top side. Here I think that Fnatic, they waste their tools here on Renekton, and I don't think it's necessary. If Adam stays under the turret with the items that he has, and you know, like Fnatic just like push in and take it easy, there's nothing to be had. But Fnatic are assuming now that the enemy is doing Drake, but they don't have any information. No vision on bottom side, no info on bottom side. Zinza right now is a ghost. He can be top side, he can be bot side. That's why I wanted to highlight BDS here, that In other cases, I would expect BDS to just commit to the Drake or whatever, but here they're retaking topside and matching the enemy, which punishes, of course, Fnatic here in a good way. Flash is gone, and they don't manage to accomplish anything. So Renekton keeps his turret, and then they cross back into mid after defending the top side, and then they just, of course, secure the Drake. The Adam's taking a massive risk. Once again, I think Adam could just stay under the turret. Now, no Vi ultimate. I think that he is completely fine and safe. He also has Orianna TP to match the Karma, right? And he has vision enough to see the decision of Jinx and Nautilus. But still, wanted to highlight that detail. Okay, so they get 2 Drakes. They're in good spot. They scale well. Can this Jinx carry such a game? Okay? I feel like Jinx could potentially do so, but my main issue is just, yeah, she doesn't have like the best champ pairings that work with her, in my opinion. Because it's like you have Rumble, feels kind of like out of theme, you know? Because Jinx isn't as mobile. She really needs conditions to succeed, of course. We continue. I like the setup on BDS, you know, it started from before, just Renekton pushing deep. It's like, if you look at this setup here, Drake is spawning in 1 minute, to be the one pushing top in all the way because you're stronger, basing, opening on the map and playing on the right wave while the enemy is on top, is very neat. I think here, I don't understand why Noah doesn't trap. Like, Noah's traps are very strange, he's definitely in range to CC here. Because I understand the play. I don't know if he has traps on cooldown or what the fuck is happening, because the traps just never happen. So I'm assuming they're on CD. Like they click him. Oh, actually, we see him here. We see that they're on CD. My bad. Very simple CD. So what I wanted to highlight, BDS pushing top all the way against no TP of Oscarinin. Very solid. Here, they're making sure that Nuke farms super well. Like, he kept up. He has some Chovy CS. Solid. Rock and roll. God bless, you know. I like it. And Renekton push all the way, and it's gonna undermine the position. BDS played a very classy game. Honestly, BDS played a very classy game. Respect to BDS for this one. They are taking control over the Dick Bush. They have Ice on the mid wave, isolated while Nuke tries to poke. Very, very good play. You know, it looks like I'm watching, you know, a high-end team. This is very nice. I think there's a lot to learn from here in terms of their setup. They have a very clean line of what they are contesting and defending. Lavrov is blocking Q from Nuke so he can push forward and look to poke. They're defending the Dick Bush. Bot wave was in good position, top wave was in good position, Ice was on mid and they're defending the river, and Ice can always connect. Very classy gameplay from BDS. You know, Fnatic couldn't really cheat a win here, and plain and simple, they are getting outplayed fair and square. Good macro from BDS, legit, man. Look at this posture too. They are playing from the Dick Bush and they are posturing forward, pulling it out. Ice ready to pounce. This is solid. Here, I think, if I remember correctly, Ice... maybe I'm thinking about a different fight. Actually, I'm thinking maybe about a different 80. I think I'm thinking about a different Zeri. I just remember Zeri kind of hinting. But this wasn't it. Humanoid with his mantra Qs, sending them, like they took the right way too long to nerf Orianna Karma. Look at the bazookas she's sending here. Boom, she hit. And then W, there's a Q, hits 2, so mantra's ready again. W, into mantra, and then the mantra also hits, so he has another mantra. It's kind of funny, isn't it? It's quite funny to me. But well done with BDS. They are looking to, of course, win the game. They're on sole point. Very, very solid position. So let's see now, what is it that prompts BDS to start forcing the Nash? 25 minutes in, item-wise, they're looking solid. I think the key thing is just Noah having no flash. Noah having no flash, enemy having no vision, they think that they can collapse on Noah when he enters the fight. Let's see how BDS play this out. So from Fnatic's point of view, I don't even think they have blue trinket. Karma's quite late to the situation. Nuke is posturing. Once again, I really like this from Nuke, that he's posturing and making the enemy pay a price to check all of these bushes. Very classic gameplay. Labrov in the bush, Adam popped his ult, and they're just hitting this with 2 because these guys can always connect in case the enemy tries to break through, like in pool, right? So we continue. Labrov gets to Jinx, which is the crucial target. Someone should, you know, be able to like peel this, you know, like a Nautilus Q, something like this, or like the way Noah should tether should be a lot better too, because let's see now how Labrov plays this. Does he actually Hex Flash, or does he just walk in, dry? Like, well, what happens? Why does Labrov? He doesn't Hex Flash, that's the spell, and then Noah just is not tethering and not hitting Labrov at all. I think he's just looking at this Orianna that just got hooked. He's looking to trap, when in reality he needs to tether to this guy and stack his little tempo. So this is just poor play from Noah, I think. Because Oscarinin, you know, I think Oscarinin, I think that Noah just kind of trolls here, plain and simple. I think as well here, there's no reason to go. There's 6 minutes still. I don't think they need to actually snap on the Orianna. That's Zeke's arm guard. They should just keep hitting here Labrov and not commit all the way. But it's hard to make the decisions in the moment, right? And Noah gets killed here by the Reggaeton. He gets they kite with, of course, the Karma. But the fight continues. And Ice is completely popping off with the Ghost. Oh, it's a BDS. Like, this was one of the cleanest games BDS has ever played, by the way. This was fantastic. Here, speaking of clean, I think this fight is something that could be better. I think that they need to invite the enemy to come in a little bit more. I think that Labrov needs to make sure that the way he engages needs to be in the line of sight of everybody. If Adam is playing in this spot, he can't be engaging on the top side, right? He needs to be fighting in this space. It's very important. So Labrov should just wait here. He should just like use his spells on Razork maybe. Would have been a lot better. But he's going forward, flashing and going. This is not the type of fight that his team wants. They wanted the CC on Vi. They wanted these homies to be able to hit. Because right now you can finish. The enemy has not crossed the most important line. So I think just Labrov goes too far and it's not necessary. Here Adam is trying to fight with him, but they're just kind of entering their position. And in this time, of course, they could have just finished this Drake. Right? Look how low this Drake is, 2k. They could just finish it, right? Finish. But instead they don't do it. And Razork as well, I think he ults way too fast. Like at this point, Razork is...
Meow for food.
Meow, but I'm busy, Angel, please.
You want food?
Yeah, but not now. Where was I? So, once again, here Vi has no reason to go. No one can follow up. Vi is making the same mistake as Labrov is doing, you know? Like here he should just wait. Here Labrov is dying for free. Looking for the Dragon Steel is optimistic, right? In this spot, you should just play for the fight and play for the position, right? He just commits Chop Suey here, and then eventually they get the soul. I think the position was really good from BDS. I just think, of course, that Labrov doesn't need to go. Okay, soul, everything is looking juicy. Noah has IE, he's looking strong as well. Noah gets to the point where he gets even LDR, and it's his time to pop off. No idea what Humanoid did here. No idea. I can't explain this. Like, he just takes this path, walks onto the pink and trades with Adam, and then he goes into the bush again. Like, I don't know what Humanoid is thinking. I think he was not thinking. He wants. And here we go. The same way we don't put Fnatic on a turbo pedestal because they beat G2, we're not going to tear down a player like Humanoid for a play like this, even though this is atrocious. It's BO1s after all, and it's not crunch time just yet, you know? The league is pretty easy breezy for the teams that have more than 3 or have 3 wins due to the chaos that is happening on the bottom side of the table. But okay, that's it. That's it. Always on the dig bush, really good setup. Nuke is poking as they enter, really good. You always see the same pattern, right? This is how you do setups around Drake. BDS seem to have done their studying. Humanoid tries to undermine them, throw counter Qs from a side, from an angle. They're trying to enter, but they get the finish. I think sometimes BDS Like this turn is pretty fucking solid, right? I didn't fucking realize how fucking mosquito in my room. How did Razok even get here? Ah, it's a good turn. It's a good fucking turn. I wanted to say that they could have finished the objective, but I didn't realize Razok fucking ran it down like this. Good punish, good punish. Noah has no flash, very flash reliant. I think also very ghost reliant. Jinx. I think the games you have to play cleanse on AD really aren't the same. Like, I think it's like something to put focus on. Like ghost is so OP that if your comp doesn't force cleanse on AD, like you will actually scale worse because of how OP ghost is. But nevertheless, BDS, a really fucking good game. Impressive game. This is a game to remember for them for sure. Alright, G2 vs SK. Another game where people tried to leave Draven open. Nico.
Sorry, Andrew. I couldn't pay the capsule.
That's fine, but I want to finish this video, Andrew. You're interrupted now. You're gonna be in the video. You need to stop. Thank you. Fuck now. All good. I say it because he doesn't want to be in the video. Alright. Viban, Jarvan ban. This goofy ass Jarvan ban. They're just banning Jarvan for the sake of Draven / Varus or something. I'm not so sure. Like, they think they don't want to play Senna against it, I guess. They don't want to play Senna against Jarvan. They don't want to play Draven against Jarvan against Draven. I guess this is their thought process. They first pick Nico. It's flex, of course. Ashe, Kalista, Rel is out. Enemy goes Ari Lee Sin, and they go Draven, Viego, K'Sante. Why do you invite Draven to go 4-5 and big Zyra Khan against this? How do you think this is a winning plan? Like at least pick something that is going to be good against it, you know? Prepare Ashe, prepare Kate, or just fucking ban it, you know? It's a BO1. Why do you want to bite this bullet in the shape of Draven? Rek'Sai top. For those who are curious, you know, Rek'Sai top is a champion that has completely taken over solo queue, you know, completely popped off. I just want to add here, let's see, I pull it up. So basically the idea of this Rek'Sai, right, the way it has changed is that they've turned him a lot more into a bruiser. A bruiser in the sense that they've shifted some damage numbers, his assassin capabilities aren't quite the same. The idea of this Rek'Sai is that his passive healing is currently way too much. As you can see, while burrowed, she consumes her fury to restore 12 to 20% health over 3 seconds. What you do is, like you can even play Revitalize, it's probably even a stronger rune, and basically the idea is that you trade, stack full, heal full, and basically you rotate that. A champion like K'Sante is not going to be able to deal with your region at all, so this champion perma pushes. The way this champion functions is very disruptive. It CCs you in fights because the W is a knock-up, and basically due to your tunnel system you can do a lot of resets, you can escape ganks, and basically in fights you're so tanky that no one can really deal with you. It's kind of a better version of Udyr almost, because Udyr like runs around, bear slaps you, has a moderate amount of damage, right, and falls off, but Rek'Sai, same level of tankiness, his heal, like at some point you're going to see this Rek'Sai is healing 900 every time he burrows, and he's gonna do a lot of burrowing, right? So this Rek'Sai top tech, there was this LOL Dobby video that I can recommend. Just check LOL Dobby, Rek'Sai, he breaks down how this Rek'Sai OTP went from being like Diamond 3 to fucking 400 LP Master after being harsh like Diamond his whole life because he found this tech. And basically the pattern is you trade, you buy Bami, you buy HP, you buy Sunfire, because this item you need, like as a form of armor for champions without mana, this is pretty solid. Right now the best armor items are like still maybe Frozen Heart, Random Zone in some rare cases, and of course Knight's Vow. So Bami's Sunfire Aegis still makes a lot of sense, even though this is not like the best item, right? It's a fine item and fits into what Rek'Sai wants to achieve, gives you an extra damage boost. You can go Stride Breaker, you can go Sterax, you can go Spirit Visage, many good items that you can buy. The trend basically is you just want to buy HP, right? Because of how this functions. And then you become disruptive enough that you CC, you hit, and you lay into people, and that is basically Rek'Sai. And let's have a look at the game. This game, relatively quiet in the early game, but the scary thing here, I wanted to highlight the gank was super nice. Very active mid. I don't like this ward that SK plays. This ward doesn't provide any safety for Ahri, but Viego plays around it, he goes into top side and look for level 3 gank. He started from bottom side. And even this ward, right? Like, Viego just dodges this ward. Like, the way SK plays wards is really a war crime. Like, this ward is dodged. That ward on bottom side also would be dodged. Who the fuck places these wards on SK? They don't provide mid lane any safety. It's just fake safety, which is even worse, right? So here we have the CC chain, the CC, boom, the W, boom, and the hit, and then another little auto from Caps to find the lethal. Very nice gank. Niski flashes. Juicy, juicy. Blue side composition is very fucking strong early. Rek'Sai wins early, Viego strong early, Annie against Ahri very strong early. Everything tuned into this idea of Draven. We continue. At least, like, if you're planning to open Draven, how about you pick Draven 1-2, execute plays it, I want to see something more creative than fucking picking a matchup we all know is going to be losing, It would have been nicer in my opinion, You don't want to challenge G2 in that position. So we continue. G2 are just going to be stacking Drakes, taking it easy. Red side playing a very defensive game. He got Crab on top side. They try to pressure. Look at this Rek'Sai being like silly and all. Here he just fucking portals. And then he's going to portal again. And there we go. That's Rek'Sai for you. Doesn't lose HP, heals HP, and has a tunnel system that the New York subway system would be jealous of. Caps face checks when he shouldn't because his team is fully bot side. This is of course a mistake from Caps. And then a nice flash here from Niski, and then eventually ults out, and then they find the lethal anyway because Tibbers gets very angry when Annie dies. So now silently Hansama with his perfect CSing, his stacks are just getting crazier and crazier. And the way Draven works, of course, is that Draven executes based on how many stacks he has. So 400 damage execution threshold is kind of crazy if you think about it. It will get to the point where it's like 500 something, and this Draven who is silently scaling, who has perfect CS, 16 minutes, 176, because Draven gets more stacks if he gets 6 minions at every wave because of how his strike passive works. He is just ready to cut through. Then eventually, there's a bold little attempt here for G2 to kind of turn things around. We continue. I just want to get us to the point where Draven cashes out because it's quite satisfying. Alright, we have a fight going. Hansama still has flash, he kites, and then the Draven execute. And then 1470, 1470 gold. So coming into this fight, Draven is 1.2k gold advantage. And then in this fight, Irrelevant completely griefs it. I feel like Irrelevant on like bruisers and tankier champs, his awareness is quite poor in the way they force. Like the timing of SK is so shit. It's like SK, I don't know what has happened to them, but they had so good early game, so good positions. Like especially in that game against Vitality, they're good and they started throwing, but today they didn't even have any teeth. But then again, it's G2, so it's fine. We don't judge them that hard. And now Hansama 3k gold lead, and it's a classic G2 game. When will we learn? At least prepare something specific for Draven if you want to like get a cheeky win or a cheeky game against G2 and shake them up. But this is just a draft, So why the fuck aren't you just banning it instead of like banning Rel as you did? Why are you banning Kalista if you're planning to leave Draven open, right? What's the point in that? At least pick Draven 1-2, try something, add some spice, because this was bland, no salt, no pepper. Game number 4, MDK versus Team Heretics. Team Heretics continue their damn streak. MDK ban Kalista Varus. Surprising that the best AD carry in the world wants to ban AD carries. Joke, of course. Senna gets first picked. Smolder is out, and Orianna gets locked in. So I was worried here for Team Heretics because the lane phase of Team Heretics bot lane is not the greatest. You can't get away with playing games where Zeri conditions are shit. And the same thing I was worried about was Zvyro on Orianna. Orianna is very strong on the patch for sure, but it is going to be like a new challenge for them to operate with Flakked and of course Orianna being carry. But Yamato, last time Flakked played Zeri, he was doing quite good. He was doing fine, but the key thing there is, in this particular game, he was very far behind on CS. He was struggling. It was very, very rough for them. Sure, the match was very different and they're playing Rel Zeri against Aphelios Trash. Not easy to play at all, of course. But they relied on Zeri getting a fucking quadra in Raptor Pit, and he got back into the game. And something similar happened in this game too. Zeri Rakan were quite far behind. They're playing scaling champions, not the easiest matchup once again, which works. But I worry when you have Zeri with bad conditions in the game, you kind of need to be carried in that one fight that is going to give you kills. But nevertheless, Twisted Fate gets banned, Zinzar gets banned, Nar and Javan is banned. Not sure why you want to ban Javan. I think it's so fake. I hate it. Like, I don't like it. I think it's pointless. Nevertheless, Orianna, Zeri, Rakan, very scaling 1, 2, 3. Picking Volibear here is perfect. You just want to pick a fucking strong-ass jungler that actually makes you be able to contest 3v3s, be able to contest 2v2s. Orianna wins very hard against Ahri, so she just wants a jungler that can stand in rhythm. Jax is still probably the best jungler you can pick into Volibear in terms of fighting, but Volibear has such a high clear speed, and in 3v3s is so strong and tanky that it's still fine in my opinion. So they pick Jax and Gragas here. If you're crazy, you can set Gragas jungle, but it kind of fucks you up because Gragas jungle is inherently weaker than Jax in my opinion, and at the same time, your mid jungle duo is so shit then. And Ahri really needs a jungle that can contest and fight. And Aatrox gets picked on 5, good scaling pick into Gragas. I like it. Wunder to me, Wunder and Photon have been the best 2 performing top laners in the league this split, in my opinion. Wunder and Photon, they've done a wonderful job. Respect to them. And Wunder continues his streak of dominance. Wunder form is fucking looking gorgeous, man. Gorgeous. Let's take a look at this game. MDK vs Team Ratings. The first thing that happens is Zvyro needs to update his glasses because this gank he dies to is kind of ridiculous. And let's just let me show you. So Elioya, I don't like Elioya too much on something like Jax. I feel like this champion needs to farm, needs to choose his moments. Team needs to play for you because you need to get big. You need to keep growing, keep scaling because you are not going to provide so much in terms of utility. Elioya spotted on a ward. Elioya spotted on a ward again. Elioya spotted on a ward another time. And now Zvyro gets ganked. Yeah. Silliness. Silliness straight up. We continue. The coaches are not happy. Understandable. But the return kill is big. Very, very big. Even the Mad Lions coaches were fucking surprised that this worked. So, here in this moment, Ahri still has a ward in her inventory. She warded quite shallow before. Like, in this spot, all things considered, I think that you need to be very careful as Fnatic. Like to be comfortable in this spot after 4 minutes, you know Volibear has based, Raptor respawn. To be so comfortable here, to look for all of these range minions and to die for it is kind of crazy. Especially with how Zvyro is posturing. Like, Zvyro is not selling this at all, you know? He's just saying, take this pickle and shove it in your mouth. And Frescawi should be able to say no. But Frescawi said, I like pickles. And he gets bonked. No flash from before, good flash from Jankos, flash up with the charm, beautiful. Big kill. The funny thing is, this kill matters so much more than the previous kill. Because this is a Ahri death post TP. Orianna TP back. So the momentum of the lane doesn't shift at all. But Zvyro now can push next. And he has a good time. He has a good time. This is huge, of course, for the matchup. We continue. Here, I think Supa should have just fucking killed the Rakan. I don't know why the fuck he didn't. Like, the Supa thing is funny because, of course, he should have the confidence to believe that he's the best AD or that he can be the best AD. It's just the timing is very poor to say it in an interview, right? It's like they're currently 2 and 4. It's just very poor timing because if you're the best AD, it just must mean that your team is shit, right? If that's what you believe. Just very bad timing, you know? It's like if your team is underperforming, the classic thing is, it's like, I believe I can be the best AD. I believe I should be the best AD. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make sure that team does good. It's like right now we're underperforming and I take that on me because I know that I can do better and I will do better because I believe I can be the best AD in the fucking league. You know, that would have been based, you know, that would have been based. But to say being 2-5 and saying that you're the best AD, you know, that's just in poor taste. Very bad taste. So we get to make fun of it. right? We get to make fun of it. Here, Trimby should have just died, super fucked up. I think he should just straight up fucking kill him. He Qs the Zeri instead. He should just fucking Q Trimby and cancels an auto. Trimby should have been dead here, straight up. Also, Alvaro doesn't fucking E-flash, you know, as he should have. I don't even know if you... I think you can E-flash. Yeah, you can. You can. Jax is on top side, gets the Void Grubs, and his bot lane Nautilus dies on bot side. Here, I think it's a very strange fight to be actively wanting to look for. Zeri's not so strong here, Orianna's not so strong here. I'm surprised that Team Heretics actively are pursuing this fight. Jankos is also not level 6. I think the Jax and standoffs like this should be a little bit stronger. And they get the charm there. Fresco use ultimate, so I think MDK did a good job of like controlling the river and controlling the re-entry. Here Mirwin, maybe if he pre-marinates it, maybe he can pursue more and chase more, but he didn't pre-marinate on the battle. Ilioga back into the mid lane, and now Team Heretics try again on bot. It's very desperate, you know, to try to go through lane. Trimby has no spells, and the W lands there on Jankos. The timing of the W is quite nice, because there's no reset on the Volbear Q. As you can see, he presses Q here, and then the W here of Supa roots him, but his Q runs out before it pops, which is super nice, no Q reset, and then Alvaro gets to walk it off. Very dangerous gank here, very desperate, could have been game losing, but of course they saw Jax on the mid wave. Something to point out here, be very careful about how you ward on mid, because this ward doesn't spot the Jax that is here, right? Most of the time, if you're getting ganked on mid, the guy is gonna still, you know, walk this path, so it's not that terrible. There's just something to point out that this bush is just too long for one ward to spot it from one side to the other. You have to put it more in the center. Okay, we continue. A little Drake. Still, Team Heretics got 2 kills, you know, solid ones. They got a kill on bot, they got a kill on mid, off of MDK mistakes, I would say. And MDK managed to get 6 Void Grubs. So ideally what you want to create in this circumstance is I thought that Supa's just going to walk top. Like here, Supa should really allow himself to mismatch. If Zeri walks into bot, Alvaro can't get dove, has a lot of armor. Supa should go with his jungle, collect souls, play into top side, dive the Aatrox, create environments where you can actively get souls. Alvaro can't get dove, he can't get dove. There should be a situation where they gain value. 6 Void Grubs, rock and roll fucking fight, you know? Send yourself top, poke Aatrox into the turret, hit the turret, you know? Enjoy the Void Grubs. But instead he's going back into bot, which I think is quite uninteresting. I don't think he wants to be there. I think he should stack souls elsewhere and he should connect with his team. I think even in a world where you want to set up for the Drake, I think that you can do it through top side. Push top all the way, threaten the turret, and then cross, because the enemy most of the time, if 1 minute till Drake spawns, they can't do Drake and wait for Drake, they need to defend, because they're going to be losing way too much. Miriam could have gotten killed here if he played it better. I will continue. Here in my mind, you know, if I compare the 2 drafts, Team Heretics draft really need 2 items. After 2 items onward, they're going to be very successful. Zeri, Orianna, Aatrox, and even Rakan, very scaling champions. Right now, it's very tough to kill the Gragas, very tough to kill the Nautilus. Post 2 items, I do think that blue size champions start to become a little bit weaker. So I think the necessity to snowball is definitely on MTK's side. Keep in mind here though is that Team Heretics actually managed to get the full bot turret, right? They managed to get the full bot turret here while the enemy is doing for Rift Herald. Team Heretics do a good job of spotting here and soft contesting, seeing what the action of the enemy is here, but Alvaro bases, doesn't want to lane, and he just TPs dry onto mid. Here, Mad Lions in comparison to BDS, right? Mad Lions want to match. They don't want to be in a situation where the enemy trades. It's very bad if the other one's stronger. So the difference here is that Alvaro with his TP is now hard committing. When he bases and TPs, there is no decision for them. They didn't think about the Orianna on side, they didn't think about the lane assignments. Orianna being allowed to push both for free and push and take a turret is a very good trade for them in comparison to Herald, because the economy of Orianna is so crucial here. That's a big difference of what BDS did the previous game. You saw that rotation when they hovered into Renekton side one time, pushed the enemy out and then crossed into Drake to make sure that there's no trade happening. But here they commit with TP, Team Heretics right away after soft contest, we walk out, Oriana's farming, she's mining bitcoins, GG, easy, you know? It's a game of information. Macro is a game of information. That's why you see Trimby. That's why Rakan is so loved. That's why Lee Sin is so loved. That's why Viego is so loved, because they can push you forward very deep, dash out, and they can put vision, get information on their own, because solo laners really, you know, take this and really push sides all the way. Rana's super happy now. She has TP, and now, of course, Team Heretics just need to defend the top, because they know right now Mad Lions want to base, but now they're coming out fresh, and bot lane is bleeding CS. So Rihanna TP is here to defend Wunder, and Ari showed on mid wave. So this is very nice. Trimby with good map opening, Volibear is coming. Good combo here from Trimby, beautiful, very well played here by Team Heretics. Team Heretics and BDS really showed today that they are fucking legit. Here Ilioya is just fighting against the Volibear. Here we can see the Jax Volibear interaction, but Jankos tries to walk away, very low HP of course, doesn't have E. I just don't understand what Ilioya does here. They could just wait CDs, right? Wait CDs. Gragas is still dead. Like they could just walk it off, anything. Ilioya just fucking Qs in without E. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. Archangel staff procs of Brianna, and then he just fucking gets one shot here and dies. Senna ult is not on time, and eventually Mad Lions get annihilated. So we talked about how Red side composition is so happy. A fight like this is practically game winning. So in my mind here, this next Drake fight, of course, is going to be the one that decides it all, because MDK really need to all in here. You see that this is the transition phase here for Team Heretics. They're about to reach 2-0, but they haven't. So this is the best fight MDK can get. They need to all in. Here at the moment when they root Rakan, I think they should just fucking full send it. I don't understand why they don't fucking pull the trigger, because you're not getting a better engage. I don't like how Wunder plays it as well. He's playing through the front door here. Like he's playing through the front door. I don't think it makes sense. Maybe he believes that the enemy is short range, so he's going to just play front to back. Maybe that's the case. I'm not so sure. I think with Mercs he should be able to like play from the flanks, but nevertheless, MDK here, both being on this side of the wall, is kind of goofy. From Midwin, of course. On this route, here I think they should be snapping, man. Why is there no charm flying? Why is there no fucking buttons being pressed? Like, this is a charm that lands on a route that lands on the Rakan. You should be able to, want to start the fight. Fucking E into ult here, into the pile, and fucking get going, you know? Rock and roll. But they don't go. Trimby gets away, has Mercs, of course. And they just lose the longer exchange here. Now they Q in instead. They ult on Zvyro, who's kiting back, was Archangel staff. Very well played here by Team Heretics. Team Heretics, just the way better team of the day. Okay. Rest of the fight, you know, rest of the fights, I think the Team Heretics champs are just much stronger. We get to see like maybe like this Wunder highlights here when they're fighting. Team Heretics, like even this sequence is so nice here from Team Heretics. They push mid all the way, make the enemy show. They do Drake, they start leashing it. Only one person does it, and the enemy team is not contesting. They are exiting and they're walking on this ward that Trimby is placing, which means that everyone from Team Heretics can still soft contest because Ari is showing on top. Even in the case where a fight starts, Flacket can go and Team Heretics can simply tether to the opposition, making sure that they don't get some big advantage at National. Here, MDK, their play is to trap here and look for some Q and look to turn. Like they need to fucking get a fight going, but Mirwin is just queuing out of the bush. What the fuck is this? And the rest of the MDK players are just walking off. Like here, you should just play on the bush, play on this big bush, and look to find like some big swing in the turn. And leverage the fact that the enemy needs to like use blue trinkets to try to get some information, but instead the MDK just fucking walks and starts hitting Nash 10 seconds too late, which is of course completely silly. This is just real troll. They just want the game to end. And here is where Wunder pops off. Wunder survives. Look at him go. Boom. The Q flash on the super. He drops to 1 HP. Wunder, Aatroxing, gets a Q off once again. GG. And there we go. Team Heretics looking solid. Good start. Good start. Good game. Good game. Good look on Zvyro as well. Good look on Zvyro, honestly. Zvyro is having a fantastic rookie split. I just want to highlight that. Fantastic rookie split. Okay, Vitality versus KC. Not right now, I will be done very soon and then I'll grab them.
Where should I put it?
I can grab them. Maybe I do. Pizza baguettes. Getting carried in life. Alright, Vitality versus KC. Pizza baguettes made me happy. This game made me sad. I think Vitality's preparation, it cut very, very deep. KC banning Varus Kalista on red side. they wanted to create a scenario pretty much where, you know, Zeri and Jinx are the ADs that are being played. Like, knowing upset, I think this is what he wants to set up for. And I think that Vitality knew this. They really sniffed this out. Orianna first picked and they challenged Casey on the Senna. And Senna today, they played farming Senna. Farming Senna sucks ass. I hate it. I hate farming Senna. They pick Ahri and Senna because if the enemy gets Orianna, Senna, Nautilus, honestly, without Zeri, Jinx, no answer, you can just FF, right? So they have to pick it. They have to pick it. That's why I think Vitality's preparation here was just fucking spot on. Casey got completely sniped here, I think. Rel and Twisted Fate gets locked in, and Rel is a flex, and TF is also a flex, you know, can be sent to Senna. And then Lee Sin gets picked here on 3. I like Lee Sin more than Viego. Ahri, Lee Sin, can maybe get some things happen. Rumble gets banned. Do you really think that the enemy is going to play Orianna, Rel, Twisted Fate, Rumble? Very strange. Maybe their intention was to pick Renekton on 4 and maybe take top on 4 in case Nautilus gets banned. Because if Nautilus is banned, maybe they just want to 5-pick support. So they're banning Rumble to prepare the Renekton over K'Sante. But here the enemy banned Nyla and they pick Nautilus on 4. So, Aatrox gets locked in, Renekton is out, and Rumble is out. Two of the biggest counters against Aatrox. Aatrox is a solid blind. You can also pick K'Sante here. K'Sante against Nautilus, Lee Sin, Senna, Ahri. Really good, very tanky, very juicy, but you have a worse matchup. Okay? And then Camille. Camille. I didn't think Healy would pop off so hard. I checked up his solo queue account, right? I have it open on the second monitor. He didn't play that many Camille games, you know? If you look at champions, we pull it up. It is challenger, you know? He's popping off. Let's take a look how many Camille games. That's 17 Camille games. Especially in like the most recent times, right? If we look at the recent times in terms of the volume, you know, we have, like, we scroll down 2 days ago. Actually, Healy's playing so much. What a G, man. He's playing so many games. Camille here gets played. Camille here, 1, so 2 Camille games in recent times, 3 Camille games. Like, he doesn't play it super often, right? We have 4 Camille games, even though it's 17 games. It's not like he's on a fucking trash journey, you know? He's fucking loving trash, you know? He's loving trash. So I was like, oh, Healy is gonna play Camille. It's a tough champion, but honestly, he fucking delivered. Some blunders here and there, but you take the good with the bad, especially with someone like Healy, you know? Because his good is magnifique. Let's take a look at the rest of the draft. They pick Camille. I didn't know how Twisted Fate Camille lane is going to work against Senna Nautilus. But for those who don't know, Camille has been popping off a lot in solo queue. The idea of Camille support, right, is that she has very good synergy with this item. Don't buy Eclipse. Eclipse is bait and troll. Eclipse is fine when you're ahead. I don't like it. I think it's very greedy. Sundered Sky is fantastic. It's just that, yeah, Eclipse is just a greedy variant. So the idea is that you pick very strong early lane runes, Halo Blades, Sudden Impact, Zombie Ward, you can go Relentless Hunter, or if you want to have more money in solo queue, which I like, Treasure Hunter is good. Shield Bash works with your passive, of course, and then Bomb Plating, because you engage first, you can leverage it. The idea of this champ is that you are so fucking strong, early levels, that basically you win any 2v2s most of the time. Like, you're a top laner designed to be top lane, so your base stats are super high, and in bot lane, this is not something that it was prepared for. You have a very nice passive that functions well, and you don't suffer the same problem as in top lane when you're playing top lane Camille with the walls, because you can stay in bush and you can always position away from the wave. So you don't have the same problem as Camille top lane or Camille that farms. So Camille is very, very good. Her weakness is her scaling, because she can tend to be squishy unless she snowballs, but she still has a good ult and can send her E-Flash onto someone and maybe start a fight. So it's not that terrible in that regard too. So if we compare now the compositions, the final pick here is Nar. I think that, you know, in this particular game, I think it's fine if Nautilus is the one, not like if the Nautilus is the one farming. I think scaling wise, they are like solid, they're okay. They have some combos here that they can play off of, but at the same time, you know, if something goes wrong and Orianna gets to get too many items, it's very hard for Red Side to actually pressure her. She needs to have no flash, they need to rotate, because the 2v2 Orianna Rel, they can dominate very easy. Orianna's a very strong laner. So let's take a look at this game. Taking a look at this game, the key thing here is plain and simple. Bo does the clear where he does 3 topside camps into long sword, go bottom side. Rel starts as blue to look to punish this or match Lee Sin on it. So Rel now goes to blue, checks, and they have information on him. Bo is now coming in, which is a good move. Everything is fine and dandy at this point. Everything is cool. Camille and TF have prio, and Bo here looks for the Q, and he fucks up the smite. This is such a disaster because first you miss the smite, but second, the enemy got the camp without using the smite. That is the worst part, because that means the next camp will be theirs too. So Lee Sin will be turbo far behind. And that's something you need to accept. You have to accept it, especially when this is your bot lane condition. Nautilus is coming over here, and Douglas flashes out. Cool, we got the Douglas flash. Maybe we can do Wolves. We make sure that Nautilus gets XP, Senna gets XP, and we don't lose bot lane condition for a Gromp we're never gonna get. But instead we have this situation. Hilly misses his E. Camille gameplay, as mentioned before, loses HP. KC should just farm bot now. They can't get Dove, they are chilling, they should just farm, get level 3, no problem. But instead, KC want to extend, they want to extend. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. KC, Vitality connect now with the level 3, they kept pushing the wave, crashed wave 4, they're level 3. They have smite advantage here over both, they are very well aware of it, and they're securing the Grompovich. Why do they keep going? Bo doesn't use flash on Camille, and this is probably the best highlight to show how OP Camille is early with Halo Blades. W flash, and then he gets the first blood. Bo doesn't flash, and Targamas here as well is just in big trouble. I don't understand why they are contesting, and all of a sudden the game is just in the dumpster. The game is legit in the dumpster. You have a top matchup that is like 50-50, you have a matchup mid that is very hard, and you have a Lee Sin that's really fucking far behind. So Lee Sin needs to impact bot, needs to impact mid, because that's why you have Nautilus, that's why you have Arik. But Lee Sin cannot impact anything now because he's behind. And when you're behind with this comp, your champ is not going to be useful. And then I've already talked about Senna farming. Senna farming is just garbage. So the main issue here, right, is on red side. Seems to me like KC doesn't want to play like very important bot lanes. They don't want to invite Smolder, don't want to play against Smolder. Like maybe they should leave open Smolder, play Kai'Sa into it, right? Maybe that's the best case scenario. Like Jinx and Zeri got banned, and it seemed like today they just got fucked for it. Plain and simple. This is very tough. Very, very tough. After this, you know, the game is in rough conditions, Orianna scaling away. The only opening here was, there was a time where Orianna had no flash, they looked for a gank. They tried to go for it, Sakin lands a nice charm, but they don't have enough damage to kill. Bo is level 4, so he doesn't have a lot of damage. Here is the ult into charm, the charm lands, and then Bo here, you know, wants to W to hit. But the Orianna ult Viteo does on top of himself, makes him dodge a bit of damage, and then Viteo flashes out. We continue. There Bo wants to dash forward to hit because he wants to create a scenario where he, of course, just Qs as late as possible to get more execute damage, plain and simple. We continue. Aatrox is spotting Lee Sin on the red, they have full info. Douglas is level 6, he got spotted on ward. Here I don't understand, I think that the case should stay under the turret. Is this a real dive? Is this really a real dive? When I saw this live, I couldn't believe that they're piecing out. Like you have sums on Senna. Can Senna really die? You have cleanse. Don't you just cleanse and flash an ability? Or will the enemy dive you twice? Because I wasn't so sure. I didn't think that they can dive. I have to think about this for a moment. Can they dive cleanly? I'm just looking at how they play the Nautilus dive, right? It's like it's like you have Senna ult, you have Senna sums. Don't you try to play this? Because if you think you can get dove like this, right? Like you knew Rel position for a long time, then you need to also think about how you incorporate Lee Sin into this. But Lee Sin was also super far behind and his camps are topside, so what the fuck do you really do? I just didn't think that they could get dove here. I thought they should flip it with Senna ult and just fucking play and use sums and rock and roll, you know? Try your fucking best. Root someone, trade 1-for-1, you know, fucking throw your hands, you know? Throw Nautilus spell on whoever is going to be tanking, you know? Like, I think that there was a lot more room to play here. Napsa goes back under the turret. So next thing is coming up here is that I think Vitality very strong in this position, right? Camille is a monster. Hilly goes a little bit deep forward, but the main issue here is that I think that Bo just kicking this Camille out is a mistake. I think that they should just fight here to the death. This Camille is overextending. Sakin used ult to commit to this fight, but instead he kicks him out. I think this was a decent fight situation here. I think that they can play it, but instead kicking Camille out here, you've used Ahri ult, you've used Lee Sin ult, and the window where Viteo has no flash is now completely closed for opportunities because you don't have ults. And blue side gets the crab, they reset, and they don't look to start Drake, and neither can red side either, so they're very happy. But at this point, with the no flash down, it's tough. I think here, Cowboy, if he angled his ult a little bit better, like if he angles it into the wall, I think he might just burn Aatrox's flash here. Would have been better, I think. Doesn't get the stun, doesn't get the crit damage. And Cabo, you know, Bo showing on the Void Grabs, of course, because the division of Photon allows Vitality to cross into top side and match and leave TF against Senna in the bot side. Another detail of what Senna farming gives you is that you have a Nautilus that can roam, but I think Senna that can roam and actively get souls and have a Nautilus on side that can get dove is also really fucking nice, right? I like that detail of the game a lot more. The Lee Sin is just basing in the bush. Top side. We pass forward. Flash on for Viteo again. The matchup mid lane is not so easy. KC take over river and Upset is just connecting with his team. Alright, not a bad sequence here for KC. They burn a flash, all is good. Upset here, Stone Cold here, takes a blue card to the face, doesn't use any sums. We like it, and they defend bottom side. We continue. Here, Healy is just looking to get first turret. He wants to finish Sun's Sky before the Hextech Drake. That's why he's showing like this. The red side team is also like Lee Sin is basing for Sun's Sky, so he doesn't get like a tempo advantage here. But with the vision on top side that they've placed from before, that Healy placed from before, I really like what Douglas is doing here. Pull the Herald, force the enemy to react, waste their time. Because you're showing 2 on bottom side, so you want to gain information. Here Targama shows, no Lee Sin showed, so the enemy bot lane right now, like Camille and Orianna, they know that they can continue. They have all the time in the world because the enemy is very late to the Rift Herald and late to the punish. Douglas pulls this out just to unleash it in case the enemy comes. He is forcing a reaction from them, and through that Camille and Orianna can look for a play. They look to trap, but Ahri's playing safe. Completely cool. And now in this sequence, right, Rel is now defending top side, which means that Aatrox is safe, even though that Nautilus and Lee Sin are in river. Here, it's important that Nautilus and Lee Sin actually like hover into top side all the way, to make sure that the Gnar can actually contest with this wave. Because they have Sakin TP, Orianna showing on bot. The fact that Aatrox can push this wave on top, I think is what makes the situation awkward. Keep in mind they have Senna, Nautilus, Lee Sin, Gnar, and they have Orianna TP, like Ahri TP to match Orianna. But they don't go all the way. Aatrox can push because Gnar is not getting support, so Gnar can't connect. Instead, Bo is leashing the Herald. Senna is on the mid wave, Nautilus is on the mid wave, and Bo is now, pulling it out. So now Ahri is on the bot wave, and the issue is that just because Senna showed on mid wave and she's catching minions, she's not connected. They didn't connect to Gnar, they didn't connect to Senna. So now they're doing the objective when no one is connected. The reality is, after they catch these minions, they could have hovered all the way top to make Gnar push. or let Nar push aggressively on the wave because they have Senna ult, right? TF ult is on cooldown because he used it poorly on Senna, right? So I'm keeping this in mind. Or in this moment, make sure that Senna crosses. Like Senna needs to cross. She needs to take the path to make sure that she stands here. And then Nar can take defensive path and then connect. They just need to connect somehow, but they're not connecting with anyone because they're doing the Herald in the pit. And now Senna's on the mid wave. Senna isn't connected, she has to be afraid, and now she's coming late, and then these guys are fighting. In the end, it played out pretty fine. Upset could connect into the situation, and Nar took the aggressive path, because Aatrox took the long path, so this is solid. I think Aatrox should take the aggressive path to cut off Nar and be here first. Like, Aatrox wastes a lot of time by walking like this, right? So in the end, this wasn't too bad. I think I might be mixing this situation up with the next one, because Herald doesn't get taken here. But Theo's here because he walked, didn't TP, has the better condition for bot in terms of farm. And they managed to go 2 for 2. And Ahri TP'd. We continue. Good flash here from Upset, getting a kill on TF. Solid, solid, solid. We like it. We continue. Oh, it's this one. This one is the one that is more egregious. So the enemy team does Drake. They push it to it. You know about it. Same thing here. Ahri is going to push top. Ahri is going to push top here for free because you have full information on bottom side. You saw 3 people now. You saw 3 people. Orianna can't be top. Right? Right now the map is mismatched. So what should happen here is that, plain and simple, Ahri should push top, connect, and then make sure Senna connects too, right? Because the top wave will die. And then the enemy is going to group as 4, and there's going to be contention here. What happens here is that the Rift Herald doesn't get pulled out. And in this spot, KC is not connected. I just think that it's important to choose which wave you want to play through and then connect in the rhythm. I'm just looking at this and it feels like they should be able to push on this mid wave. I'm trying to look the last time they had Orianna information, but I feel like they have enough vision on mid to be able to push aggressively. Like, I don't know, like Upset has no flash, but he has cleanse and decent amount of range. I think that they should be able to push her. And I think if you can't fight here in this spot, you shouldn't be leashing this. Because then you should wait for Ahri push, let her connect as 4, and then when the enemy catches top, you should look to play here. The other question is if Ahri should just ignore top wave. If she should take this wave and group now, because the enemy is on Drake. And then they group, and then they pull and ignore top wave. That's also a play. Because if Ahri groups now, Ori can't push the top wave, and I think that they can push this mid wave, and Lee can hit the Rifter at the same time. And I think that's better. I think they should need to choose which wave they need to want to sack, and I think it's better. They just need to be 4 on the same page. Then I think it's much harder for blue side to actually face check. But instead we have the situation where TF ult reveals KC with their pants down. The CC on Bow, he gets one shot into the Orianna ult and Photon's coming from the back. And now the enemy team, they got Rift Herald. Even though they were late to it, they got Drake. The game is very, very hard. There is very little entry here. This was a decent play from KC. Fair play, you know. They found a little engage here on the TP. Douglas went too deep, plain and simple. Like they're trying to fight here, Photon is collapsing. I think the Douglas should have just went back. Like the moment Targamas queues out, I think there's no longer a fight. And they're going way, way too deep. Like after Targamas queues out, the play was over, you know? They should expand and just burst and go to the lanes. Good play here from Cabo, getting the flash STF into the wall. He was looking for a cheeky auto, but there's no Nash, no nothing to look for. And Hilly burns his flash too and dies. So big swing here for KC, very important. Still, I don't think their champions are exciting enough to be able to punish the likes of like fucking Orianna as the game progresses. Losing that mid tier 1 as well from the previous situation makes it very hard to control mid wave. TF and Camille have so much pressure on the map. Another detail of why Senna farming is so much worse in my opinion is that she doesn't push so fast and she can't collect souls from jungle, can't collect souls from situations. It's very static on mid wave. And TF and Camille are very, very mobile in the way they approach the game. Here I thought that Ahri could push the wave top. I think Ahri has enough vision to push the wave top. Especially like here, Lee Sin and Nautilus is hovering top and we don't push the top wave aggressively. Like why are we doing this top side then, KC? If Lee Sin, Nautilus are in top side and we can't push that top wave, we're just wasting so much time. The enemy is taking the whole map for free while you're not pushing this wave. You could push this wave and then you can regroup, retake bottom side while Aatrox takes top. But the neutral wave is just being left on its own and the enemy team can just trade for free. There's no retake, there's no nothing because Ahri doesn't take the wave that she should take and then gets caught in mid lane instead. And she has to R away. Very bold approach here from Vitality to just start Nash. You know, no Ahri ult. But I feel like in the game position Vitality is in, to invite 50-50s is crazy. But then again, they have Rel with the burst, so if you feel confident, you feel confident. And the smite comes in there at 1700 and they get it. And that's all she wrote. That is all she wrote. Yeah, rough game. Rough game. Like, it seems like KC want to play the Jinx and the Zeri. The Zeri was something that they picked up wins on. Maybe they find a way, like maybe they should like open Smolder in some cases to have like a winning bot. And then to play, like they just need a carry from bot that is going to be able to kill everything that's in the game, you know? Especially if Saka wants to play Ahri, I think it's important to pair it together with like a Varus, attack speed Varus, a Zeri, or a Jinx, something that gives them some carry potential because like too often KC is playing compositions that if they make one mistake, the game is just over and the mistakes are still are occurring, right? So it's tough. Very little to say, like the bot situation, right? I think just the whole situation with the Rel and the Blue and the Gromp, it just made the game so difficult for no reason. Let's take a look at the predictions, guys. SK versus Fnatic. I think Fnatic looks better. SK looks very lifeless. Vitality versus GX. Vitality just smoked them, rolled them up. Nothing to be said there. BDS versus MDK. BDS looked fucking wonderful today. BDS will destroy them, I think. BDS looked really good today. Respect to BDS, man. Big improvement. Rogue versus G2. I think Rogue can really get an upset win. No, I'm kidding. G2's gonna smoke them, roll them into a blunt. KC versus Team Heretics. I want KC to win. You know, I think they have the capacity to beat these guys. But Team Heretics looked solid today, and KC looked very uninspiring today. So they need to show something more. I hope they followed some kind of a recipe. You know, put Bo on the champions that like the AD carry champs, like the Jax, the Lee, and the Graves, and in that direction. Get some engage for Mr. Like, make sure that you can play fucking Rakan, really. Make sure that Sargams can play Rakan, get some Kai'Sa action going, some Zeri action going, some Jinx action going, and I think this is where Upset can really carry games and show up big time, because these are champions that are active in the meta now, and there's room to do more. And that's it for day number 2. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the flippity flip thing.